Attention, savvy travelers! Airport parking is one of those travel costs nobody thinks about until it's too late. You've booked your flight, packed your bags, and you're feeling good until you pull up to the parking sign and realize you didn't plan for what it's really going to cost. It's one of the most underestimated travel expenses, rarely talked about, rarely planned for, and almost always more expensive than expected. Today, we're breaking down airport parking, how much it actually costs, what conditions to expect, how safe your car really is, and how to avoid paying premium prices just for convenience. If you've ever wondered whether airport parking is a scam, a necessity, or just another travel tax, this one's for you. If you fly even once or twice a year, this is one of those things that can quietly cost you hundreds of dollars without you noticing. Let's start with the big question everyone asks. How much does airport parking actually cost? Airport parking costs aren't one size fits all. The price changes based on where you're flying from, how close you want to park, and how long your trip lasts, especially at major airports with high passenger volume. At the busiest airports in the United States, places like Atlanta, Los Angeles, New York JFK, Chicago O'Hare, Dallas Fort Worth, and Denver, parking prices follow a simple rule. The closer you are to the terminal, the more you pay. Terminal and hourly parking is designed for short stays, picking someone up, dropping someone off, or realizing you parked in the wrong garage and backing out immediately. At major hubs, hourly parking often runs between $5 and $10 per hour, with daily maximums that can reach $30, $40, or even $60 per day. Premium terminal garages can go higher during peak travel periods. If you leave your car there for a full week, your parking bill can quietly match or exceed the cost of your flight. That's where long-term and economy parking come in. At high-traffic airports, long-term airport parking and economy airport parking usually range from about $15 to $25 per day. These lots are farther from the terminal and almost always require a shuttle ride. You trade a few extra minutes of travel time for significant savings. Over a week, that difference can be hundreds of dollars. Off-airport parking can cost even less. Private parking facilities near major airports often offer lower daily rates, especially when you reserve online. Most include shuttle service and operate on schedules built around flight traffic. The key takeaway here is this: convenient parking is expensive. Distance is what lowers the price. And that's why so many travelers feel blindsided by parking prices, because no one talks about it until it hurts. Let's talk about why parking prices keep going up. Airport parking rates have increased steadily at major airports over the last few years. Airports use parking revenue to fund maintenance, expansion projects, and operational costs. As passenger traffic grows, demand for parking grows with it. And unlike airline tickets, parking prices don't come with alerts, emails, or warnings. You find out the cost once you're already committed. That's why planning ahead matters. Which brings us to conditions. What should you actually expect when you park? Now let's talk about parking conditions, because price is only part of the decision. At most major U.S. airports, on-site parking facilities are well maintained. Expect paved lots or garages, clear signage, marked pedestrian paths, and regular shuttle service for long-term parking areas. That said, not all parking feels the same. Economy lots are practical, not luxurious. Shuttles can be crowded during busy travel periods, and waits can feel longer when you're tired or dealing with bad weather. Terminal garages are brighter, closer, and easier, and you pay for that comfort. Off-airport parking conditions vary widely. Some private lots are modern, organized, and efficient. Others are basic and focused on price above all else. This is where reviews matter more than a low daily rate. If a deal looks unbelievably cheap, there's usually a reason. Sometimes that reason is longer shuttle waits. Sometimes it's limited security, and sometimes it's both. This is the point where many travelers realize how much the small decisions add up. Parking, baggage fees, seat selection, timing, all of it shapes the real cost of travel, not just the ticket price. And one quick note, if this type of breakdown makes travel less stressful or more affordable, staying subscribed helps you keep finding this information when you need it. You can also turn on notifications for future travel tips. Now let's get into safety and security. Is airport parking safe? Generally speaking, parking at major U.S. airports is considered low risk, especially on-site lots. Most on-site airport parking at large U.S. hubs includes strong lighting, surveillance cameras, controlled entry and exit points, and routine patrols. These measures significantly reduce the risk of theft and vandalism, though no parking option is completely risk-free. Your car is typically safer in airport-operated parking than in many unmonitored public areas, but common sense still applies. Break-ins tend to follow predictable patterns, valuables left in plain sight, unlocked doors, or cars parked in poorly lit or less monitored sections. The simplest rule is also the most effective. If you wouldn't leave it on a park bench, don't leave it in your car. That includes backpacks, electronics, paperwork, and anything that looks tempting from outside the vehicle. Off-airport parking security varies more than people expect. Reputable facilities use fencing, lighting, cameras, and on-site staff. Less reliable operations may rely on little more than a gate and a hope. This is especially important when it comes to meet and greet parking services. Some services store vehicles in unsecured locations or move them multiple times while you're away. If you use a third-party parking provider, always confirm where your vehicle will be kept and what security measures are in place. Cheap airport parking stops being cheap the moment something goes wrong. One more thing travelers often overlook is weather exposure. Long-term parking at busy airports is frequently outdoors. Your car may sit through heat, storms, snow, or intense sun for days or weeks at a time. If protecting your vehicle matters, covered or garage parking may be worth the added cost. So how do savvy travelers approach airport parking? They compare airport parking options instead of defaulting to the closest lot. They reserve long-term parking in advance when possible. They factor trip length into the decision. And they don't assume convenience is always the best value. Understanding airport parking before you arrive gives you control and saves you from making rushed decisions under pressure. And if you found yourself paying attention to details like this more often lately, that awareness alone already puts you ahead of most travelers. Airport parking isn't just a place to leave your car. It's a decision that affects your budget, your timing, and your peace of mind. At major airports, prices are higher, demand is constant, and convenience always carries a premium. Knowing your options ahead of time keeps you from overpaying simply because you didn't have time to think. Now let's talk about your parking experiences. Have you ever been surprised by an airport parking bill? Do you have a go-to strategy that saves you money? Or do you avoid airport parking entirely? Drop your experience in the comments. Your insight might save another traveler a lot of money. Until next time, travel smart and stay savvy. See you in the next video.